another cool kid in NYC near the park in the Met. Life is sweet, Yankees in the Bronx, pretzels on the street. Just how
13 the Musical tells the story of Evan Goldman, a New York boy who finds himself in Appleton, Indiana, after his parents' unexpected divorce, preparing for his bar mitzvah, while struggling to fit in as the only Jew in high school. With music and lyrics by Jason Robert Brown, and book by Dan Ellish and Robert Horn, this musical is a classic coming-of-age story for anyone who has ever been a teenager. The Israeli production of 13 was produced by Rafi Pash at Center Stage Theater, directed by Liel Zahavi-Asa, musically directed by Jeff Rosenshine, and with dramaturgy by Jacob Hellman.
I was daunted by the challenge of working with a group of entirely teenage cast. It was something that, after meeting Liel and proctoring the auditions and the callbacks, I felt that I was really up to.
Hellman is a talented dramaturg who was interning at the theater during the course of the production. Hellman invested much time and energy into the production during his stay in Israel.
I read the script, looked at the lyrics, heard the music, and seeing what I could do as a dramaturg to help enhance the production and to help the artistic and performance interfacing of both the cast and the audience that was coming to see this show.
He also took on the role of educating the actors on American society by conducting a variety of creative workshops.
Israel is a very different country than the USA. Israeli teens prepare to go to the army, both boys and girls, preparing them for quite a different life than Americans, specifically the American teenage characters which the all-teenage cast was set to portray.
There's a huge difference between living in Israel and living in Indiana.
We weren't really sure exactly how it feels to be a high school student in America. For us, it's not the same thing. Our high schools are not the same, you know? Most of us don't even go to a mixed boys and girls school.
We learned a lot about what it meant to be an American. I took a general poll of the cast one day, and I found out just who hadn't been to America. And I realized how much the kids should learn and know about the country where this musical takes place. Because they're not playing Israeli teens, they're playing American teens. And we would pick a topic or a theme in the play or to explore that week, something that we wanted the actors to be aware of and to learn. And my very first workshop was very interesting in the fact that I had never really done anything like it before, so I was just playing around, experimenting, seeing what I could do. So I prepared a workshop about learning about what America's all about, specifically Indiana. So I set out to go on the internet and find out as much about Indiana as I could to make a handout and share it with the cast. I learned how to put Indiana on a map of the United States of America. We sang the Star-Spangled Banner, and we listened to the Indiana State Song. I'd always wanted to do a mixed media workshop, specifically one with visual art, because it's really great for teenagers and for really everybody in general to let off some steam and draw, paint, and express themselves on paper. And we did this through the Locker Door Project. And I was surprised that some of the cast members really didn't have a concept of this. They had never had a locker beforehand. And that was when I knew that that had to be my visual media project. Because a locker is really a great way to express yourself.
Don't really have the same sense of what a locker is as Americans do. So he drew out lockers, and then we went through magazines and we found all kinds of stuff, and we pasted them in lockers as our characters' lockers.
Each kid made their own locker, how they thought that character would have their locker, and it was just interesting seeing what each character would put on their locker.
I think from that workshop I most understood my character, because it was like her locker. Like, I couldn't draw things that I liked or put stickers on that I felt were something that I would put on my locker. I had to put something that Charlotte would put on her locker. So I really had to find my character to decide what she would put on her locker, and I looked through 600 magazines and cut out 10 things at the end. So it took a long time, but at the end I really did understand it.
And each one was different and really displayed that these kids had put a lot of thought into what their characters, what their American teenage counterparts liked and didn't like, and how they expressed themselves. And the lockers came out looking beautiful. Each one was individual and distinct, and I put them up in the lobby along with 2 posters made by myself and Eliana Rosenshine, our production assistant. And those 2 posters plus the lockers created an excellent and innovative lobby display that audience members reacted very well to. And it was a really great way to have a tangible memory of what this whole process was like. They came out looking really great, and that was my favorite workshop because everybody just got to relax and have fun and learn at the same time. One particular issue that comes up in 13 the Musical that Liel and I wanted the cast to be aware of and involved in is that of popularity and the social hierarchy in the American high school. So I designed a workshop on popularity by having the actors introduce themselves to each other in character. Each set of characters did this a little bit differently.
Played a few games, and one of them we were all sitting down, and he was like the interviewer, and he's interviewing us as the kids in the show.
Jacob really helped me specifically understand my character. He explained to me, like, okay, how do you think she is? And I was like, I don't really know. And we just talked about it for like half an hour, and he helped me understand the character of Charlotte.
He gave us workshops, like one time we had to walk around as different types of people, and that was fun. And we talked to him as different characters, and we talked to each other as different characters, and we really connected.
So we had games where we just like walk around 4 people, and 3 of us are popular, 1 of us aren't. And then he switches. 2 of us are popular, 2 of us are. You know, 3 of us are popular, 1 of us isn't. 1 of us is popular, 3 of us isn't. And we're just switching, you know, your modes to like different things. And you have friends, you don't have friends. You have a lot of friends, you only have 1 friend. It really made you like actually feel the way that the characters must feel.
At one time we had 1 popular and 3 unpopulars, and that popular was Miri Frankel, whose character Lucy was the manipulative queen bee of the school in 13. And she made a really interesting observation to me afterwards, that when you're the only popular person in the room, it's almost like you're unpopular because you have nobody to be popular with. Strength comes in numbers. And she really learned it that way. And so after that, I definitely, and Liel definitely, saw her keep her friends close but her enemies closer on stage, to surround herself with as many people as she could to fuel the popularity that gave her character so much power and influence over the rest of the characters. So one Saturday night, we had a special workshop, and I corralled all the kids together for a showing of one of my favorite sitcoms, Boy Meets World.
When this boy meets world, this boy meets world.
So while we were watching the video, I paused it at several points and asked the kids about what they saw to describe how the characters behaved. Everybody in the cast really had some good observations about what it was like to be a teenager in America.
Jacob made us watch an episode from Boy Meets World about, it had the same theme as 13, which we realized after we watched it. We talked about the show, and it really helped us understand the characters more, because when you see it from someone else's aspect, it's like he was showing it to us from all these different aspects, how these kids work with each other and how the hierarchy in the school works.
There's a difference between acting on screen and acting on stage, but the similarities between those are both different from what happens in real life. So in reality of stage or screen, like a fictional story, versus what would happen in real life. Because in real life, obviously, I think a lot of things would be different. You saw like how theatrical the actors were, the characters were, and how much they kind of went out of their way. Nothing was subtle about that, nothing at all. And to be an important thing to talk about tonight. Because especially like when you're just acting, just think of like if you're telling a secret, you're not telling a secret to one person, you're telling a secret to the whole audience because they're meant to hear it.
We all learned a lot that night, especially about the concept of separating actor from character, which is something that so many people, even professional actors, sometimes forget. And it was really important at this juncture for the cast to really learn what it meant to act and be a character. Being the dramaturg for 13 the Musical in Israel was a life-changing experience, so fantastic I cannot even put into words. I learned so much about myself, not only as a dramaturg, as a theater practitioner, and as a teaching artist, but as a person and as somebody who likes to educate, likes to learn, likes to teach, likes to be around people, and to create art.